We have come to grieve the loss of a beautiful young man. We have come with a new appreciation for the fragility and uncertainty of our own lives. We have come to offer support to Wayne and Clara, to Laura and Jeff, and to Claire, and to all the rest of the family. We come with a word and a touch, where no word can truly make sense of this death.
We know you loved your work, Paul. However, it came with great risk and sacrifice. And for that, we are very proud to say this is how you left this world. You were helping others. We deeply miss you, Paul. We feel great pride in calling you our brother. We love you. Always.
Your kindness and caring of others was taught to you by your mom and dad at a very young age. I remember giving you a rabbit, which became your best friend. You rode your bike around the yard carrying the rabbit everywhere. In fact, when the rabbit died in your arms, you continued to care for it hours after it was gone. Pet or person, you've always given of yourself. Your heart was as big as you were. When I would look at you and saw your soft way, I could see that you cared about everyone. In fact, most cases, you always put yourself last and let everyone else go first. Since homework was not your favorite thing to do, you spent your time searching for your life's path. You quickly determined that pursuing the family business was not your choice in life. There were many days when people were wondering where you were, only to learn of your volunteer work at the ambulance base in Strathroy. It wasn't long before you realized you had found a new home. You seemed to find a sense of belonging among your paramedic friends, and they soon became your adopted family. I remember you cleaning out your mom's fridge to feed the guys at the base. You loved your job, and it showed every time you talked about your work. Being a paramedic allowed you to show others how much you care. Your profession provided you with the avenue to share your gifts of kindness and caring. Paul, I truly believe that your job as a paramedic was your calling in life. We envy you for knowing your purpose in life, to take care of others, as many of us have spent our lifetime trying to determine our purpose in life. It has been an honor to watch you grow and become such a great man. Your life and death have taught me the true meaning of life and the importance of caring for others. I am thankful to have been part of your life, and especially to have loved you.
Just once again, I want to thank you for being our son for 30 and a half years. Thank you for the good times you gave us, and yes, even the times of challenge, as we all learned from them and became closer and a better family for it. Thank you, son, for your great smile and hearty laughter, your jokes, your hugs and kisses to show us and make us feel the love we so strongly had between us. Thank you, son, when you would reassure me and say, "It will be okay, Father." We are all also very proud of you, son, and what you have became and accomplished. And in the last few days, Paul, I have come to learn that you are a much greater person than I ever knew you to be.
This past week has not been good for our Chatham EMS family, and the outpouring of all agencies and people in general, all your support and solidarity has really helped a lot and touched us all, and we really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I never had the privilege of knowing Paul earlier in his lifetime. Having met him through work, I can only assume that, as a kid, he would have been the same goofy, conniving, mischievous smartass that he was on the job. And you guys answered that one already. However, I mean this with the utmost respect and admiration. As long as I'd known Paul, I can honestly say that I had never seen him angry. He was just a happy-go-lucky, live-for-the-moment type of person. I was consistently greeted with a smile, which was usually followed by an insult of some kind, although I wouldn't have expected anything less from him. His demeanor was an obvious testament to his family. You instilled in him the finest personality traits, values, and attitude that comprise the heart and soul of the quintessential paramedic. His infectious smile, his sense of humor, generosity, and compassion did not go unnoticed by his peers. Please carry this pride with you for the rest of your lives. Paul was definitely a joker and a prankster. However, I don't want people to get the idea that he was only capable of doling out punishment. Not only could he dish, he could absorb. I, for one, was merciless on him. It was a daily ritual. Between Bob and myself, we tormented the crap out of him. I believe that Paul truly enjoyed this aspect of our relationship because no matter what we said or did to him, he never got angry or told us to knock it off. For example, we would come into a house, Paul would be rendering care, and I would immediately make a comment to the patient or their family regarding his incompetence. Or I would offer them Bruce or John's number if they felt the urge to complain about Paul. He would get a little flustered, act totally disgusted, then compose himself. When he felt he had regrouped, he would get a little cocky and complain to the patient about his working environment. It was awesome to see our patients getting involved in the act. They would often add their 2 cents. It was so cool to see seriously ill people laughing with us. It never impeded our patient care, and I believe this helped them feel comfortable and confident with our abilities. This relationship was not contrived, it just progressed naturally. Conveying our love for the job in a tasteful, professional, yet humorous manner truly impacted on their well-being. This behavior was a tribute to Paul's character. His sympathy and compassion for his patients was inspirational. He was glad to sacrifice himself for the benefit of others. Humor is indeed therapeutic. Paul's alabaster skull, turning 30 shades of red, sometimes had the effect of a shot of nitroglycerin. At other times, our routine enabled our patients to escape their suffering, albeit for a short time. I have an example of the Patterson legacy. There are, too many to mention, some we couldn't mention, but here's one of them. 3 years ago, Dave Damaris, a fellow medic, organized an annual awards gala at work. The big prize was the Paramedic of the Year award, which initially went to Jim Sinclair, who, I might add, occupied the first 5 slots on Patterson's hit list. I was working day shift, and I get a call around 5 p.m. Hey, buddy. Right away, identifying Paul's schmoozing tone, I realized this cannot be good. He tells me he has a sign he's going to put on Sinclair's lawn. I wished him well and told him I was very proud of him. He shot back, "No, I got a big sign. One of those huge ones that lights up that you put letters on. Come to the Blenheim base after work and we'll put it on his lawn." I reluctantly agreed because I knew the backlash from Sinclair was going to be monstrous. But by the grace of God, we got a late call that night. I was ecstatic. I thought that I was in the clear because I was in no way abetting in this crime. As I drove by the house on the way home, I saw it. Honk for Jim Sinclair, Paramedic of the Year. Since the deed had already been done, I realized that Patterson was not looking for my help at all. He wanted a fall guy. He just wanted me there to place me at the scene. My history with Jim made me the perfect patsy. As it turned out, I had nothing to do with this incident, yet I was still the prime suspect. Sinclair threatened me within an inch of my life, told me I should be afraid to go to sleep at night, blah, blah, blah. One day I tried to plead my case with him, but Jim would have none of it. I'll try my best imitation here. Don't blame Patterson. I know what's going on. As I'm being inundated by the paranoid, irrational bulk of insanity known as Jim Sinclair, I look over his shoulder and see Paul, actually glowing. It was sickening. His smile was so big and goofy that I prayed his face would stay distorted for life. He had a halo the size of a toilet seat over his head, and I knew at that moment I was done. There was absolutely nothing I could say or do to exonerate myself. The master just stood there with his arms up, assuming the "what can I do about it" posture. St. Paul was no longer a city in Minnesota. It was standing before me on the garage floor at the ambulance base. The other day, I reflected on the fact that we don't take the time to tell people in our daily lives how we feel about them. As I was soul searching, I came to the realization that whenever I hooked up with Paul, internally I would just brighten up. I would get a warm, relaxing feeling in my chest. Even though we would all mutter at one time or another, "Oh, we've got Patterson in our group," or "I didn't realize this was a remedial course." The literal translation of these statements meant, "It is so nice to see you, Paul." He just livened up any room he entered. Since I can no longer tell Paul how I feel, I am compelled to tell his family. Your son, brother, and fiancé was a good man. Honestly, I never thought of Paul as a man before. Teenager, maybe. But today, I will stand by that statement. Paul, you were a good man, friend, and colleague. My last contact with Paul was minutes before his accident. He was helping us load our patient when he was called away. As always, he was trying to humiliate me. This time, he actually had some success, although I would never give him the satisfaction of telling him that. I insulted him back, and with a wave, off he went, smiling and laughing. This is the image I want to remain with me. And the more I reminisce, the more I hope that the warm feeling he always gave me will return to my chest to displace the empty, sinking feeling that now occupies it. Paul, we love you and we will miss you, but your spirit will remain in us forever.
I just have to say one personal word before I read a letter from the Minister of Health. You might get the impression that Paul was always joking. I can assure you that 12 years ago on a very snowy evening, standing at the side of the road in a vapor cloud of natural gas with him holding a red flare about to light it. He wasn't joking that night. And that is where his name came from. Dear friends, family, and colleagues, on behalf of the Government of Ontario, I would like to offer sincere condolences to the family and loved ones of Paul Patterson. As a paramedic of Sun Parlor EMS, Paul chose to pursue a noble calling in serving the public. Emergency service workers are a vital part of Ontario's healthcare system, who are dependent upon time and time again to respond to life or death situations, putting the health and safety of others ahead of their own. They are heroes in every sense of the word, and Mr. Patterson served his community with dedication, commitment, and professionalism. His contributions will not be forgotten, and he will be missed. Sincerely, George Smitherman, Minister.